I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Guys, welcome to Quarantine with the Stars AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Luna Antwi, and I am lucky to be joined by the stars of Tyler Perry's new show, Brewer. I'm welcoming Barry, Mahdi, Phillip, and Monti. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hey.
Hi. How you doing?
How are you? Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So I want to kind of just jump into it. I watched all 4 episodes back to back, and I literally had to pause on the pilot because I was crying and I was missing some of the points that I wanted to talk about. This show is hilarious. In your own words, could you each tell me what you think this show is about?
I'll go first, I guess, because you named me first. We all love each other and care for each other, so we're all so humble to let each other go first. And so it's this emptiness. Everybody's like, "You want to go? You go. So thank you so much for having us on, man. First of all, just shout out to Mr. Tyler Perry for providing this opportunity, this platform for us to display our gifts and talents. My take on the show is just that it's funny. It really deals with some real issues that we look at we don't see often as stereotypes happen. You see 4 African American men in their careers doing well, and you get to see them very successful. Even my character, who's not doing as well as the others, even being an entrepreneurial and having friends that make him accountable and help him grow. And that's kind of the show. It's a journey of 4 young Black men and their journey through relationships, life, navigating all these different avenues, as we all do navigate, no matter what the color or creed is. And it's a journey of comedy and a roller coaster of laughter and some tears as well.
Now, I will call out your names. Barry, you played John.
Yes.
John's an entrepreneur. I was calling him the sandwich maker, but then towards the end, I was like, oh, he's an entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about the background of your character, because he's successful in his own right, but he's the least successful out of the 4 of you.
Yes. So you want to know why he makes sandwiches?
Yes.
They good.
Well, John is the character that's looking for the win. He's the one he doesn't know what necessarily connects to him in the sandwich shop. It was just a great idea to make some money, to win, if you will. That's why he's so quick to say, oh, the level 28, the club that he wants his friends to invest in with him. Not to him, but he's looking for an opportunity to hit the jackpot. And so the sandwich shop was a great idea of a business that he felt would be successful, and went to his friends on it, and they were so gracious to bless them. And he's like, I see another opportunity. Y'all have the resources. I got the idea. Let's come together and win. And that's his whole MO. And so the sandwich shop was just one of those ideas, and that's what makes him the sandwich, because he's more of an entrepreneur. That's why he's like, hey, let's buy this club. So that's kind of his mindset at that point.
Okay. And Mahdi, your character Tom is a doctor. He seems more like the straight and arrow of the friends. Do you want to speak a little bit about your character?
Absolutely. I play Tom. I'm the level-headed, kind of wise one of the group. I think that the decisions I make are the most reasonable. So, I'm somewhat the bridge between all the guys as well. Like, you got John's on one end of the spectrum, and then I, as Tom, I'm on the other end of the spectrum. We got Mike and Bill kind of in between, but I value the friendships to a large extent. So I do everything I can to make sure that we all maintain that as we're now in our adult lives past college.
And Phillip, you play Mike the lawyer. We'd say your character is kind of the friend that you have in every group that is going to just tell you who you are all the time.
Yeah, he's kind of the friend that you need to reel him back in a little bit, because he's the one who's gonna take it to the extreme. So Mike is the playboy of the group, the hothead, but he's always gonna give you his truth, and that's what I love about him.
And last but not least, Monti, you played Bill the architect. Your character is kind of multifaceted. So he came off, to me at least in the pilot episode, as more towards Tom's side, where he's more straight and narrow. But as you go through the first 4 episodes, you see that he kind of has like a little bit of Mike in him as well. Like he can wild out a little bit.
You know what? You hit it literally on the nose. That's exactly what it was. Even when we were auditioning together and getting ready for these roles, at first I didn't know where I played, because it was kind of pure. Okay, Tom, he's the nice guy. Barry and John, you know, they're the ones that are, you know, trying to get that hustle on, the entrepreneur. Mike, you know, you do got a real money Mike in a little bit, because he ready to go at you. And I was like, yo, where do I fit in this? And like you said, honestly, what comes out of me depends on which one of the bros I'm around. So with Bill, you never know what you're gonna get. A lot of my character, which is kind of true to the way I am in real life, it depends on who I'm with. You know, when I'm with Tom, because he's such a level-headed person, I kind of calm down. You'll see through the story with me and Mike, we just, like all the time. And then when you see me and John, it's like this thing. It's like, okay, is it a big brother, little brother situation? Because one moment I'm trying to lecture him, the next moment he's trying to lecture me. And so I'm kind of the one you don't know what you're going to get, the kind of chameleon in the group. It just depends on which one of the bros I'm around. So, which is perfect, because that's kind of where I fit into the dynamic, which is, you know, I identify with in real life.
Now, the common thread I'm finding in life and in this show is relationship issues. And each of you have your own specific relationship issues. I'm going to start with you, Tom. So, Tom, you're kind of getting a reputation at your hospital or doctor's office for being a ladies' man towards your coworkers. So, the straight and narrow Tom, in his personal life, maybe he's not so straight and narrow.
I mean, well, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I believe that reputation is unfair. Number one, first and foremost, I'm all about professionalism. I take my job very seriously. It's of the utmost importance. And I think in this situation, I had a coworker who I made a mistake. I caught up in a moment of weakness, and we did have a thing. But I'm trying to shift everything back to keep it professional. And there's a challenge in that. She's not exactly of the same mindset that I am. So.
And so is that going to be something that we see throughout the show? Because I think I remember seeing you hit on another nurse.
I was just being nice, you know.
Oh, okay, right.
I was just checking her, you know, just checking in. Just want to see who's working around me.
So there's no truth to that reputation whatsoever.
Well, hey, I like to talk to the coworkers. I like to set up a friendly environment, but you know, professionalism is of the utmost importance always. I'll stick to that story.
We'll stick to it. And Mike, you seem like, from the female perspective, that you might have some relationship issues, as in you're not really monogamy. You have the side pieces left, right, and center.
Right.
Do you want to speak on that, and why you feel as a professional in your 30s you're not ready to settle down?
I put a little jab in there. Like, gotta protect my ribs. I think Mike is just, you know, focused on his profession, and he's not ready for all of the things that come with focusing on a significant other. And he kind of says that on the show. He doesn't have the time for furniture. He doesn't have the time for a woman. He doesn't really have the time for anything in his mind. And I think he stands by that to the extreme. And he tries to, you know, finagle his advice into his boys around him, you know, and they take it. So
I see that. It's a great segue to Monti's character. So Monti's character probably took your advice and broke up with his long-term girlfriend, and now he wants her back. What can we expect from that relationship? Because I thought that whole situation was foul. Foul of you. Foul.
Foul? Did you say foul?
I did.
He seems very connected to that statement too.
You're right. All right. So I'm gonna have to reach into my Tom bag. I'm gonna defend Bill for a second. Uh, Bill, he committed the cardinal sin that a lot of men commit in real life, letting the one get away. And in real life, a lot of men can identify with Mike. Like, we're very career driven. We're very achievement driven. And if you're going to be in a committed relationship, it takes a lot. A lot of women, from my personal experience, want to be the number one priority every single time. So I feel like Bill wasn't ready for that. And unfortunately, when you get used to ripping and running, when the one like comes to you and you see that, sometimes you don't recognize what you have until it's too late. And unfortunately, I think a lot of men can do that, which is why I get a lot of DMs and comments from women, because they can relate to that. A lot of women, there's a lot of dudes saying like, oh, I want you back after the fact, because women are kind of looking for love, and women are open to a platonic, like a committed relationship. And whereas men, it takes the one. Like, I don't care what you got going. If you're not the one, for most men, there's nothing you can do. And then unfortunately, we do dumb stuff like my man Bill. You realize the one after the fact. And I ain't gonna say it's too late, because it ain't never too late for your boy Bill. But he messed up, and just stay with the show, and you're gonna see how he fights for love.
Linda's just ashamed of you and Bill, actually.
Right. Now, Barry, your relationship, we haven't really...
My mama?
Yeah, well, I
My
just want to you're the character Alice, played by Chandra. She is phenomenal. She is amazing. How is it to work with her? And that relationship that you have with her, mother and son, but still kind of like living under her wing.
Yeah. In real life, I feel like she's naturally my mother. You know what I mean? She has such a young spirit, so it's not like she's, older in that way, but just initially meeting her, I felt comfortable. You know how sometimes I think people don't feel like, oh, it just instantly felt normal, like just like with us, like it just felt natural and organic, like it just flowed. And working with her and some of the things she says on the screen, because Mr. Perry is very good at just throwing stuff out there, and she just says it. It's as though it's like in her ear, but I hear him saying it, but it's like she just goes at it right when what he says, and it's like all I'm able to do is respond. You know what I mean? React. And so just some of the stuff blows me. Just how I would be with my mom, because I really am, she's very sexual. My mom in the show and my mother in real life was always very free in talking about sex and stuff with me, and it bothers me. Like, as a grown man today, I have children of my own, and I don't want to hear it. It bothers me. I don't want to know. I don't want to reference this subject with you at all. I just want to think that I became. So on this show, as it relates to just navigating that relationship, it's really authentic, in my opinion. Just, it really flowed and was organic, and she was such a lovable woman to be around, and just a motherly figure in on set. So it was such a pleasure to work with her.
Now, it's a 9-episode season. Correct?
It's what?
No, it's 24 episodes.
How many?
24.
24 episodes. And
yes, ma'am.
How long? I got it in my notes, 9 episodes. Glad there's more, because I was like,
hasn't updated yet. It hasn't updated all the episodes yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's 24 episodes.
Yeah, we need to see all of those. Yes, 24. Let's be clear.
It's a journey.
It's definitely a journey.
What was the time frame for filming?
Quick.
Rapid.
So
rapid, efficient, thorough. Like
just when you work with, one thing you learn working with Tyler is he knows what he wants. There's really no second guessing, which is why he's massively successful and has such a huge base. So when you work with him at first, I remember the first day, we're like, okay, we haven't worked like this. We've been on other sets. It's like, this is different, but it forces you to step your game up. And when you come on set, you have to be prepared and ready. There's no warm up. There's no, okay, let's go ahead and take a couple swings. No, from the time it's action, you need to be on your stuff. And that's the beautiful thing about why how we had chemistry beforehand, like being bros and being lifelong friends in the show. It was such a blessing to have natural chemistry amongst all of us at the audition process, all the way until the time we get on set. Because if he worked like most studios work, you get a number of months in often cases to kind of build that natural chemistry. We had it, so when it was action, we just he gave us a space to kind of step into that, and it worked out. It really worked out for the best, because we got to just be our authentic, natural selves, and that's what you see on screen. It's like a real brotherhood. It's really strange to get that with dudes you just meet.
Yes, and to answer your question, it's just quick. Just to answer your question, very simple.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a big secret. Now I'm going to want to find out more as a reporter, but quick is good. We'll go with quick. I want to talk a little bit about breaking the Black male stereotype, which I think that this show is doing in a positive way. It's portraying Black men in professional roles as entrepreneurs and the struggles of balancing that in your personal life. Do you want to speak a little bit about that? Because I don't think we see enough of that on TV, and it's relatable, because it's relatable to anyone really, but specifically in your 30s, where you're in your prime of your career, perhaps working on your relationships and all of that, but we don't necessarily see that portrayed on TV for most minorities.
Yes, Phillip or Mahdi, y'all would like to take it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that that is what we all kind of connected is one of the most beautiful things about this show, is that as grown Black men, we all have a strong friendship bond, but we also demonstrate professions that aren't often seen on TV or really ever, right? Because we're all professionals. We don't have, and that's one thing that I noticed too, is like none of us have kids out of wedlock. None of us are, cohabitating with a significant other or whatnot, unmarried. Like we're actually just single professionals trying to figure it out. And I think that there are a lot of people in this world that can relate, and relatability is so key when it comes to entertainment. That's ultimately, I think, what as viewers, we tune in to see ourselves, not really to see the actors. We want to see a version of ourselves on the screen. And I know personally that there are a lot of people who can relate to one or parts of all of the bros, because it is it's not told a lot, but it's accurate to real life.
Yes, and if I can second that, just to add on to that, and I know Monti's very well in speaking on that too, just the narrative and just what's been across TV for our lifetime as young men. I've never seen this. Maybe briefly in a movie, I think in Brothers, I think it was called. Maybe you'll see a little bit of college students in Different World, or obviously we saw the Cosby Show and things like this, and maybe in the Jeffersons when he was an entrepreneur. But as it relates to the display of African American men in television and film, you don't often see this. You don't often see young men in their careers, not doing anything negative necessarily to have gotten there, but just them living a regular life but successful. I don't often think you see that, because of the narrative that seems to just plague our nation often and every day, as we've been watching the news and the situation that happened with the young man down in I think that's Alabama or North Carolina, one of the places, or somewhere down there down south. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be a part of something like this. I'm grateful for Mr. Tyler Perry creating something like this. I'm grateful for BET allowing it. I'm grateful for the opportunity to just display African American men in a broader light, that there's more to us, that we have layers, that all of us are just, we have, layers, as simple as that. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to see that and to be a part of that. And I'm so blessed to, to be able to talk about it as well.
Yeah, it's just simple. The crazy thing is that what we're doing shouldn't be groundbreaking. We're just showing 4 Black men with everyday careers that millions of people have, living everyday life, going through everyday situations everyone can relate to. And yet that is groundbreaking, which I find fascinating, because it's like we're just normal. But you do get the stereotypical monolithic one end of the spectrum. You're either a drug dealer messing up the community, or you're extremely successful and leader or you turn your back on your community. But just to show 4 dudes living life and have our skin tone, it shouldn't be groundbreaking, but it is, because you can't find a TV show with this dynamic. I can't see it. There's touches on movies, like what Barry said, but you can't see it, which is crazy because we're not doing anything groundbreaking. We're just living life.
True, so true. Are we going to see more of the characters' background stories as the show moves forward?
Phil?
I think we are dropping in on the characters in a moment of growth in each of their stories. So we kind of, in the first 4 episodes, given the backstory of their relationship. And as we go forward, we're kind of giving more light into each of these characters and like how they act, and the audience is getting to know each of these characters more and more. But we don't really touch into their backstory as far as who they are as people. But you have to watch to understand what I'm saying. Like we drop in on these characters in a moment of growth that each of them need each other. And you kind of get to know each of their backstory within that.
Okay, got it. I want to talk about money and friendships and loaning money in friendships. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. For these characters, we know that they've all invested in John's business, and now they don't want to invest in his idea of level 28. Can you guys speak a little bit about that, and if money has ever been an issue in friendships before, and why it is in this dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, here's the thing. In this world, we assign value to things. Everything is about a value proposition, and one way that everyone assigns value to things is money. So I think that in the show, as well as in the world, it's sort of like, yeah, it's not about the money, but if you're also not willing to share money with those who you say you value, then do you really value them in the same way that you say you do? You know, so if you've seen the episodes and somewhat who I am as Tom in the world, like, I encourage the other bros to be more willing to share, because we've already been willing to share, but now it gets to a point. But at the same time, you know, there's a flip side to that coin. And if somebody isn't paying you back or not making an effort to pay you back, we all know in real life, it's like people are quick to ask you. And then, you know, when they need it, it's like they text, call, they do whatever it takes to get it. But then when you need it back, and maybe they even have it to give back to you, they're not so easy to find. They're not looking for you like they were looking for you when they needed it. And that also, you know, shows how they value you. So if it works both ways, money is not an issue. But when it doesn't work both ways, I think then we get a little bit hesitant with our money. It's like, I don't know about it. But if you feel like you can trust somebody, then, you know, the money kind of, it's easy, huh?
I agree.
Mike, Phillip, your character, Mike, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when John pays them all back, did he get paid back plus 10%?
Yep.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, he did.
So you were like a loan shark in that situation.
I wouldn't say a loan shark. I would just say
10%?
I'm a smart businessman as well.
We're best friends, Linda, and we're best friends.
He's a tax lawyer, so he about that money.
Exactly. I know that my money today is worth more than my money will be tomorrow. So I need that interest. I need some of that back, and then I'll give it back to you.
But what about that motivational speech that Mahdi just gave about believing in your friends and the reciprocal of that all? Should you also then be making money off of that kindness of your heart?
No, I definitely agree with that. But my man Mahdi also pointed out that if it's not giving back, then maybe we should take a second to like reevaluate the situation. So I think that's what Mike said. I think, you know, Mike is willing to give it because, you know, he gave his lovely lady some money as well. So he's willing to
He didn't give her anything.
She took it. Charge it to the game.
And in Mike's
Can I say
defense,
something?
out of
wanna
the
say
kindness of Mike's heart, he gave his lady some money, and I think Mike.
What money? That's for
Wait,
you. She's doing your apartment.
Are we watching the same show?
No,
Absolutely.
He's
First
being
of
biased
all,
to his character because
go ahead,
he's
Barry.
being
Go ahead.
biased to he's being biased to his character because probably how he is. But his character is teaching tough love. You know, I've been paying rent to my mother since I was 13 years old. Well, I don't pay rent now, but I started at 13 years old. And you would think like, hey, but what I think Mike's mentality is that I'm going to loan it to you, but I'm going to make you feel it so you understand what the real world is. He's this, I'm always trying to teach a lesson when it comes to discipline as it relates to career, or the only place I think he's not disciplined is when it comes to relationships. But when it comes to business and money and finances, because he does that for a living, his discipline is really strong. So even when it's someone he's loving, he's like, you're going to learn how this works because this is what happens in the real world. I think that's his attitude. So he doesn't see anything wrong with it because he's like, this is the real world. This is not, nobody's going to give you money for nothing. Like, that's not how it exists. So I'm going to treat you the same way. I think that's Mike's MO, and maybe he was raised that way, maybe in his backstory. So he thinks it's love because he's giving it to you and he didn't run your credit. You don't have the credit to prove it to pay it back. So the fact that he's giving it to you, you should be grateful. That's his mindset.
Word. It's a lower interest rate than the banks. So
yep.
You know, that's
friendship
love.
and money. Friendship and money don't mix, man. Friendship, family, and money, man. That gets money. It gets money if you expect it.
I think it's about maturity. And I think that's what Mahdi was saying. I think when it comes to money in real life, we're talking about the characters, but I think it's maturity. I think my character, John, hadn't he been forthcoming and paying them back, or at least doing a better job of giving them the money back, and maybe they halfway through it, I think they would have been a lot more open to hear him and to loan him money. And I think in real life, that's how it works. If you don't have the friend that's not chasing you down to pay you back and not honoring his word, I think it works like that in real world. So, you know, you can give people money out the kindness of your heart, but when they take advantage of it, no matter if they're your twin sister or brother, you have to at some point not let them take advantage because you're not helping them at that point. You're hindering them from growing as individuals. So I think that it's about the maturity of the individuals that's involved in the situation.
Well said.
And it also goes back to the relationship that they have off the bat. Because if you hear the things that Mike is saying about John, he feels a certain way about the way that John goes about, you know, their relationship in general.
Oh, so what you're saying? You want to speak around it? Are you trying to say I'm irresponsible? Is that what you're getting to?
I didn't say that. I think you said that, but you know.
Somebody took drug money. I'm just saying, bro.
Someone took drug money, and some of you gave that money back, or that's where it left off. But one of you was like, "No, this is my money. I'm taking it," and was okay with that.
You're right.
They don't call him Money Mike for nothing.
Right. What else can viewers expect as the season moves forward?
Oh, the dope thing about the season is if you've enjoyed what you saw thus far, it was just literally, and this is not a pitch to get people to watch. This is just honest the way, you know, we feel. The first few episodes is literally just setting the tone and the framework. It's literally an introduction into these guys. And like Phil was saying, you don't get a lot of backstory, but each one of us are at this crossroads in life in a particular situation, whether it's at work with Tom, whether it's a relationship with Phil, whether it's missing out on a one, whether it's kind of stepping up and kind of standing on your own 2 feet with John. People get to see that maturation. And I think that's where the relatability really is going to come in, because people are going to be like, I'm at this crossroad in my life, whether I'm trying to get serious or I'm discovering it, or my work situation or money, whatever that is. I think as it goes on, we get deeper into it, and our relationship grows. Like, it's crazy on a day-to-day basis as actors and in characters. Like, the bond we all have, it's not normal in this thing. And that's a credit to Tyler Perry and his casting in the studio for putting all 4 of us together and knowing that we were the right ones for these roles because we're all nice guys in real life and we genuinely care about the work and about each other. And I think that relatability is going to come across throughout the season so much more.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree as well.
I'll piggyback a little bit on what Monty said. And I think that exactly, it's not exact. You won't specifically see maybe a ton of backstory, but we develop into how we became, why the things that are important to us. And you'll really start to see the spine of who we are, why we make the decisions we make. And the chemistry between us is phenomenal. I mean, these are really my friends, like lifelong. And that is a testament to Tyler Perry and how he was able to cast, because nobody brought egos to the table. Back to when you asked how long was the filming? Well, yeah, we didn't have a ton of time, but all of these guys you see on the screen, as well as our other female cast members, we came together ahead of time, like on time that we weren't required to come, and worked hard on, doing our own table reads and preparing. That way we were ready for a short filming process. So I think that chemistry will be, and it just develops and grows as the season goes on.
On a side note, are you a gamer?
Because of the Mickey Mouse?
I'm curious.
No, actually, I'm not a gamer.
Okay.
I use these for voiceover, but yeah.
What have you guys been doing to keep yourself busy during quarantine? I know, Barry, you're working on a home.
Yeah, no, I'm building a music studio in my house. So that's what I've been doing, actually. I'm building. Why
Totally
Barry?
Why are they laughing?
Because it's like, that's what Barry would do. Like, Barry, Linda, Barry, he's always making moves and love him. Like the dude don't stop. He's recording an album. He's building a house. He's trying to figure out a way to get to Mars before the second season. Like, he's like, he just always is never surprised. So
get to Mars?
That's my dude.
I'm going to invite you all when I get that trip to Mars, for sure. There's no corona out there. There's no quarantine. Yeah. We can just kick it, okay?
So I heard, Barry, that you play the drums, saxophone, piano. I just found out that you recently dropped Conquer Goliath.
Yeah, it's a musical album.
Mm-hmm. You want to speak on that a little bit?
Oh, man. Well, thank you for allowing me to speak on that. I've just been blessed with a lot of gifts. And recently, Conquer Goliath is an inspirational, motivational album about conquering your fears. I grew up in church singing and doing music and all that. And as I've navigated life, even aspiring to be an actor and to be on TV and to do the things that I've been blessed to do, it was conquering my fears, and that I was good enough, that I could get there, that if I worked hard enough and stayed believing that it could happen for me, beyond all the doubt and the spectators and the people saying, that's 1 in a million shot of you making that. Everybody's trying to do what you're trying to do. And I just wanted to do something in my gift that I had the gift to do as I produce and songwrite, to express that. I've never heard an album outside of gospel music where it's inspiring you to go after your dreams and to see bigger. Sometimes we dream and we don't believe that it's true. And I haven't heard music that I like to listen to. You'll hear a song here and there, from Drake or something. I just want to be successful. Records like that. You haven't heard a whole album that kind of speaks to that desire, some motivation when you're working out or you trying to aspire to get somewhere. So I wanted to create something along those lines that people could listen to and go, and they go into this interview or they movie or they coming up with a book, or they can listen to this music and inspire them and encourage them to keep going, and that it will come true. So it's on all platforms, and it was just something I did from my heart. It wasn't oh, I hope I win a Grammy. It was just hey, this is what I truly feel. This is a part of me, and I want to give it to the world, and everybody has encouraged me.
That's amazing. Cool. Congratulations. Monty, what have you been up to during quarantine?
Honestly, the first 3 weeks were really hard because I'm an extrovert. I don't like being inside. I don't like working from home. I've been working for myself for the last 5 years. So at first it was rough, but now I've kind of adjusted to the new normal. So in addition to keeping up with my workouts, I'm writing a show. I got a director friend of mine. We're writing a web series first, and then we're going to do a pilot once all this is done. And, we're trying to get ready to pitch some new shows. Been enjoying honestly, one of the biggest pleasures is these dudes. We talk like at least every other day. We get in the chat, we just joking. So it's been such a blessing to have a group of friends because I'm a kind of a bit of a loner, self-starter. I'm really, kind of about getting to the next level. And so to have this has been a complete blessing. And just staying sharp. I'm a true believer that there's going to be an abundance of opportunities for everyone in every career field after this is over.
Absolutely.
And I just believe it's important that you prepare whatever that is. So I've just been brushing up on my skills, printing out monologues to practice, just staying sharp with everything so that we're ready for what's to come after this.
Yes.
Awesome. Phillip?
I've just been trying to put my film degree to use. Film and acting are two totally different tracks, even though they fall under the same umbrella. So I've been really focused on acting. And now that I have this time, I've been using my camera equipment and I have my lady here and we've just been going out and, making music videos. And I've gotten a chance to meet some of the neighbors around me and they're all in the arts. So I have like 2 other projects that I'm planning to make a music video for this up and coming artist that lives in the community, and just other house projects. I'm building a bed frame. It's just random things that I've always wanted to do, and now I have the time to do.
The time. And Mahdi, what have you been doing?
Well, relaxing a little bit actually right now.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, so
I ain't mad at that.
It's interesting. Like for me, right now is the month. Timing was actually pretty good because the month of Ramadan, I'm observing Ramadan. So I've been fasting, trying to get my moral compass recalibrated to an extent, and just in a spiritual sense, kind of recenter. So I feel that timing was good for that because not a lot of external, whether it be temptations or distractions or whatnot have been going. And I'm super thankful and grateful. Just again, the timing, like with me and my good bros here, we got the show out and new episodes coming weekly, so that gives us something to be excited about. I shot a film that's coming out this Friday on Netflix, and I'm super excited about, the Lovebirds. So
yes, congratulations.
Hey.
Thank you. I think that's going to be super funny. Ray and Kamel Nanjiani are comedic geniuses. The director, Michael Showalter, he's awesome. The hardest thing about shooting that was like trying to keep a straight face when they're just doing their thing. So, chance to laugh a little bit and watch the Lovebirds, talk to my bros, and keep my mind right.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. Where can people find you on social media? Let's start with you, Phillip, and then I'll go down the line. So where can they find you on social media, Phillip?
I'm primarily on Instagram at Phillip Mullings Jr. And that's PhillipMullings Jr. Say again?
I said awesome. Monty?
I got a couple different things. If you want my motivational speaking, it's Motivation, MONTI-vation. And then all my acting stuff is mainly Instagram, the same, Monti_Washington.
Barry?
Hey, I'm all my platforms. I'm everywhere.
What I tell you. What I say.
I'm on blackplanet.com.
Blackplanet.com.
Blackpeoplememe.com. No, my website is barrybrewercomedy.com. And it's Barry Brewer Jr. on all platforms, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I have a YouTube page as well where I put out comedic sketches every week. So Barry Brewer Jr., Barry with an A, Barry Brewer Jr. on all platforms.
And Mahdi, last but not least.
Yeah, well, you can check me out on Instagram, Mahdi Cocci, MAHDICOCCI. I'm the only one of those in the world. And in my bio, there's a link in my bio to connect with the Tyler Perry Bro. I got a Facebook page, so keep the updates for the show. You can link that on my bio on Instagram. So keep up with all of us.
Yeah.
Excellent. Guys, you can find Bro on BET Plus every single week, new episodes, and we all have the time, so definitely make sure to check it out. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, Linda. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.